Welcome everyone to the City of Moreno Valley's Memorial Day observance. While it's unfortunate that we can't gather this time at the city's Veterans Memorial, on the upside, I'll be keeping my remarks a little more concise. As your mayor and as a fellow resident of this wonderful city, I am always proud of our historical relationship with the armed forces. We are a military-friendly community, and so is Riverside County, which has one of the highest concentrations of military veterans in the country. So welcome, veterans and non-veterans alike, as we pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice to defend the people and Constitution of the United States. Memorial Day 2020 is unlike any other we've experienced. We find ourselves under siege on our own soil, under siege from a merciless enemy that hides among us and targets our weakest and most vulnerable. Nearly 100,000 of our fellow Americans have lost their lives to this enemy in just a matter of weeks, almost twice as many as were lost in all the many years of the Vietnam War. And it's happening right here at home. Since emerging victorious from World War II, the United States has remained the most powerful military force the world has ever known. We have the most ships, the most aircraft, the most tanks, the most nuclear weapons, the most advanced technology, and a defense budget larger than the next 16 countries put together. We have the most of everything a modern fighting force needs to be victorious in a traditional head-to-head battle with another army, and we rely on our military to protect us from enemies. Today, however, the enemy is not a traditional fighting force, yet it's deadlier than any enemy we've ever faced on any battlefield. And our highly trained military women and men are only as effective as any of the rest of us when it comes to fighting it. Although this enemy is especially deadly, however, we are not being asked to take up arms, but just to work together for the common good. We are not expected to make the supreme sacrifice only to endure uncertainty in our own lives in order to protect the lives of others. Like those we honor on this Memorial Day, we are now called on to stand and defend our fellow Americans, all those members of the American family who share the dreams and hopes that drive us forward as a nation and a culture to new horizons. We are not a people who give up and abandoned our responsibility to the common good when times get tough, let alone just inconvenient. But the question we each need to ask ourselves on this Memorial Day is this: during this crisis, are we proving ourselves worthy of the ultimate sacrifice that so many others have made on our behalf? Are we willing to pick up the flag and continue their brave march forward? Most of us will never serve in the military, but now is our time to come to our country's defense. Will we answer the call as did those we remember and honor today? Because honoring those who gave their lives to defend their fellow Americans is a hollow, meaningless exercise unless we pledge to live lives worthy of that sacrifice. Duty, honor, sacrifice. To the brave men and women we remember today, those words were deeply meaningful. They speak to a life lived in service to ideas and beliefs bigger than ourselves. Those meaningful words can be applied to our own lives if we stand with our fellow Americans today to fight this common enemy. So on this Memorial Day, let's do more than just remember those who died in service to our country. Let's be worthy of their sacrifice and accept the fight that's been brought to us. Like the fallen heroes we honor, let's pledge to ourselves and each other to see this fight through to the end. That as tired and as uncomfortable as we may become, that we will not quit, and we will not abandon our duty in this time of crisis, and that we will never, ever decide that any of us is expendable. Let's pledge, like the heroes we look up to today, that we will never leave anyone behind. Each of us is equipped with the most effective weapons for fighting the virus. The ability to stay home as much as we can, maintain a 6-foot physical distance from others, wear a face covering when venturing away from home, and wash our hands often. Let's make use of those weapons to fight the virus as hard as we can until a new, more effective weapon is created. Until then, we are all we've got. But then, having the bravery and optimism of our fellow Americans to lean on is a pretty good place to start. May God bless all the fallen heroes on this Memorial Day, and may each of us prove worthy of their sacrifice as we wage our own war today. Together, and only together, we can win. Thank you.